Frankenstein's got a journal, Wolfman has a vlog. Swamp Thing tweets from down in his bog. Pete and Nash read it all, and now they're trying to see what's going on with these Vampire Diaries. Hello, welcome to the Vampire Diaries, the Vampire Diaries podcast, where usually a guy who has never seen the show watches the series with a superfan. I'm the titular Petey. Let's just say I put the Petey in Vampire, but please call me Pete. My co-host and co-parent Ash is on a quick trip to Mystic Falls. She said she just wanted to swing by the grill and definitely wasn't going to hang out at the Salvatore Mansion. I made her bring her vervain just in case. Anyway, this week is a bonus episode. We're taking a break from the Vampire Diaries, and we're talking about Horror from the High Dive, Volume 1. And what is that? What is Horror from the High Dive, and why is it Volume 1? Well, all right, first of all, High Dive Publishing is my publishing imprint. Right now, we're doing an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign for a horror anthology, and I put together with 12 other writers a very cool book collection of short stories that I'm super excited about. There are 13 pieces, because 13 is the spookiest number, or at least it's probably in the top 5, right? Like spookiest numbers. There are 12 short stories and one spooky poem. I love a good horror anthology. I'm reading one now. I think it's called like 101 Great Horror Stories, which I think 101 horror stories is too many, to be frank. It's going to take me way too long to read this book. You know, I'm just kind of picking through it. Also, I believe it is sort of a like public domain kind of thing. I think all the stories are maybe over 80 or however many years old it has to be in the public domain, because all of them are take place in like the 1900s, the early 1900s, basically. I don't know. Some of them are, they're very good. They're just, you know, they're not the most current. Like this book that I'm about to talk about is super current because it's coming out very soon. But so anyway, I'm reading that one. I've read a lot of the Stephen King collections, Richard Matheson's book with I Am Legend in it. And then when I was a kid, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And so that's the popular one they made into a movie, and that has the terrifying pictures that we've seen all over the place. But there's another one that will haunt your dreams that you may have read as a young one called In a Dark, Dark Room. And that had the story called The Green Ribbon, where the girl wore the green ribbon around her neck, and no spoilers, but do we all remember that story? I know I do, and I think about it way too often. I love anthology shows like Black Mirror. I like the VHS movies. You seen those? When I first started my publishing imprint, this was the first big project I wanted to do. I love this stuff. So I'm super excited. The stories in Horror from the High Dive are relatively in the YA realm, but there are definitely some more disturbing stories in there. My story is about a zombie attack on a community pool, which if you've heard of or seen or read any of my other stuff, it makes a lot of sense. Very pool-centric, very summer-themed. There's one about a school for children who don't sleep by Andrew Adams. He's a cool writer and creator. Matt Hartwell wrote a great one about a thing that lives in a pond. We've got Catherine Forrester. She wrote a story about a ghost hunter on her spring break who's staying at a haunted house. Beck Medina wrote Fangirl about a young woman who is obsessed with pop stars. Joe Cabello wrote like a really kind of disturbing, scary story called The Void about an actress who will do anything for that, you know, that one role to make her famous. I could name them all. They're all great. Chris Malone, he's an author in there. Daniel Lee, Casey Dunford, Malcolm Badowitz, Graham Johnson. We had a awesome time putting this together. They're accomplished authors and screenwriters. Several of them have books published already or writing in different outlets or, screenplays. Our cover art is by Chris Copeland, a director on the Netflix show Kipo and The Age of Wonder Beasts, as well as he's an artist, storyboard artist, animator, filmmaker from so much stuff. If you were to look up his credits, you would recognize all of it and be like, that's incredible. He made a really cool cover illustration that's going to be right there on the front cover. The perks of the Indiegogo are the book, of course. Then there's High Dive Publishing merch, sunglasses, stuff like that. And then, like I mentioned, other books by the authors that have been previously published. You can also just donate to the cause without getting a perk. That'd be very cool of you if you got a lot of wham, a lot of walking around money that you want to just get out of your pockets and send our way so we can sell some more of these books. I personally recommend the $15 perk. It's called, the perks have interesting names. This perk is called Now I'm Afraid, which is the paperback of the book. Or then there's the $20 perk, which is called Absolutely Terrifying, which is the book and some cool sunglasses. Here's where to go. igg.me/at/horror from the high dive /x/1888808 #/ But that's kind of weird and annoying. You don't have to remember all that. You can just go to @PeterL.Harmon or @High Dive Publishing on Instagram. Check the links in the bio. As of this recording, right this moment, we are almost halfway to our goal. We'd love to get all the way there. And then also we'd love to go past that goal. We'd love to sell so many books. We'd love to fill up everyone's libraries. So check out the campaign. Check out those writers and their previous work. Check out my young adult book series, The Happenstances. And in fact, go to @TheHappenstances series on Instagram. And all the info you need is there as well, including all of the authors are tagged in a post there. You can follow them. You can see what they're up to. They're good people, We're having fun. I started this project a year ago around this time. I think I looked back in my emails and I think I sent it out on October 9th or something. I sent out an email to a ton of writers that I know, I think I'm trying to put together a horror anthology for 1 year from now. And in that past year, I've had the writers writing, we've been editing, so many rounds of edits, getting the cover illustration, working with my interior designer, and everything has been super exciting about it. So I hope you check out the campaign. Even if you don't care to pre-order the book, I'll keep mentioning this book on this podcast. And you'll be able to buy it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, order it from your local bookstore. But hey, if you're going to do that, just go ahead and pre-order it. You loon. Thanks for listening to this also. Thanks for listening to the Vampire Diaries. Me and Ash love doing it. We love that there are listeners around the globe. That's crazy and silly too. So thanks for listening to this. We will be back, both Ash and I, if she makes it back from Mystic Falls without being cajoled too much. We'll be back next week with I think we're on episode 19, and we'll finish out season 1. Very exciting stuff. So thanks for listening. TTYL.